Let's go.
Let's go.
Hello, guys and girls. It's Nate Cross,
And Mia Penfold.
and today we're gonna talk about Russell Brand and these latest shenanigans. I don't know if you've already seen this, but
Apparently, Russell Brand says tickling children should be banned as it violates their personal space.
I struggle where to stand with this. Obviously, coming from Russell Brand, you don't know how much to take seriously in itself, but the backlash from it, from kind of people actually agreeing with it in some way. I'm not here to offend anyone. Like, say what you want to say, but to be honest, from me, I find it absolutely fucking crazy. Absurd is a nicer word, but fucking crazy.
No, but do you know what gets me? It's like the woman who went on this morning, which you should watch, it's hilarious. But she's one of his friends. And apparently she said that, like, before all of this came out, she was totally pro tickling. How can you be pro tickling? Like, it's just a tickle. Like, go.
Like, so I did look into it a little bit, and I do get it in some sense of if they're too young and people are tickling too hard. And I think I even saw something about people trying to connect stuttering to tickling, but I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how true that is.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I've got siblings. I get it. Like, they laugh when you tickle them, but it gets to a point where they actually need like a minute to break. And some kids really don't like it; they feel sort of like claustrophobic with it, and I get that. But if you know that the kid does it, like, you wouldn't just let a stranger tickle your child. You know what I mean? That would be weird. But it's like family and friends. She was like, you need the child to consent.
That's what I don't get. I think obviously consent is a massive thing, but I think things like this is taken away from the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
Actually talking about tickling, just talking to a child, like coming up to a child and being like, "Oh, hello, Benjamin. This game's about like surprising you and shocking you to make you laugh, but will you give me consent to tickle you?" And
but also, so apparently she said that you've got to something along the lines of asking your child's permission before changing their nappy or like washing their bum. Like, if you've got a 2-year-old and you go like, say, "Hello, Benjamin, can I wipe your bum?" They're just gonna be like, "Yeah, all right. Like, do what you got to do." Like with a baby, they don't choose that they can't wipe. You just do it for them. It's like, and tickling, yeah, okay. Like I said, if the child is to the point where they're like crying and running away and in pain, then you wouldn't. But like a stranger, it's fine. But if you're like granddad, like some of my fondest memories are like from like tickling my brothers and sisters, like the first laughs that they did, like those cute fucking baby laughs, were like not like that, but that came from tickling, and then they're like out of breath, but then they come back and they're like, do it again.
And it's just common sense for us as well. Like, not to go down a dark route and trying to compare babies to animals. Definitely not doing that, but hear me out.
Not far off there.
But if you see a dog and you stroke a dog and it's happy, you can tell. The signs are obvious. If you see a dog and you're stroking it and it's growling at you and is clearly aggravated by it, you don't do that. If a baby's laughing and giggling to your tickling, yeah, if it's starting to cry, then yes, stop. But to actually wait until they're 35 years old to be like...
In the same breath, though, like, they're comparing it to like the Me Too movement, and that's completely taking the piss out of the Me Too movement. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not consenting rape or anything like that. I'm just saying that how can you compare it in any form to rape? Like, rape is literally taking a woman's or someone's body and using them without them saying yes. And then tickling is like, it's a bit of a laugh. Like, really? Doesn't make sense to me.
And just Russell Brand as well, being funny with it. His response to someone tickling because it's getting into their personal faces than to punch someone.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we
Like,
should
you're in my
ban
personal
that.
space, so I'm gonna whack you in the face. That makes sense. But he wants to make it illegal, tickling illegal. But the woman who was on this morning was saying that her baby, she was on the bus with a baby or her child, I don't know, and this woman was sat beside or nearby, I can't fully remember. And she sort of tickled her arm and then went, oh, okay, bye, and then gave the baby a little kiss on the head. And I think that's lovely. Like she didn't stick her finger in her mouth and go, blah, 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 like, no, she just sort of went, oh, like, lovely baby, little stroke on the arm and carried on. But I think it's lovely that a baby can connect to people and start a conversation like that. And she was like, it was so weird for me. It made me really uncomfortable. Like, it's a baby. It's like when you get a dog on a bus. If you didn't stroke it or didn't sort of smile, then you're kind of a grumpy old fart. Like, babies are cute. Like, why not? But like, I'm not saying like stick your finger up its nose. But like, you're not asking, excuse me, ma'am, can I wipe your baby's ass? No, you're just giving it a little like tickle on the arm and a kiss on the forehead. Like, you're not doing anything like. Obviously, if the child was 11, yeah, a bit strange, but it's a baby.
Yeah.
A baby.
It's just it just makes everything
No, but
a
everything
lot
is
more
so
difficult. Okay, I can get to some degree with the random person, like you were saying, but
Yeah, if your child, 2 years old, was stood beside you and you're holding their hand, and this random stranger just came up behind them and started tickling them, bit weird because
Yeah.
you're sort of thinking, who the fuck are you? But if it's your friends or your family friends or teachers or grandparents, you know, your sisters, their aunties, uncles, like, why not? Like, oh,
I mean, like not everyone's a stand-up comedian like Russell Brand themselves, so they can't just make people laugh with what they can say with their words. So if an if a granddad wants to tickle their grandson or daughter,
and if they have
like
to ask for consent, that's asking asking a kid for consent about tickling makes it seem so much more wrong than it really is. Do you know what I mean? Because I relate consent with sex, kissing, groping, anything in that romantic sexual tone. That's what I pair consent with. So if you're saying my child needs consent from you to be tickled, what's next? My child needs consent from you to wave at it on a bus. Like, the amount of times I've been sat in a bus or just kind of waved at a baby and they sort of smile, and but what is genuinely next? Like, and there's so much wrong
sorry,
in the world.
ma'am, we can't give you your baby that you've just delivered. We need consent for you to hug it first.
Yeah, like, but there's so much going on in the world, and that's what people want to focus on. But it's
and
obviously
that's what
this
we're
is
doing.
going into like
And
another
that's what
topic.
we're doing. We're focusing on it.
But this is like it's like going into like the feminism stuff. Like, people are getting so overwhelmed with, oh, I don't need a man to open a door for me. But like, I like a man opening. Like, obviously, that's completely going off topic, but that's not the point. Feminism is you want equal wages and whatever and whatever. But you've also got to, like, the little things really don't matter, and they're like stuff that is like men are taught to be gentlemanly, and then women are like, no, I don't need that. I'm a strong, independent woman. It's like, calm yourself.
On that point, that's another interesting topic
Which
for
we'll
another
do
one
a
of these.
podcast on.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna write that down.
yeah, you can hear from both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, more importantly, I'm open to hearing what everyone else thinks on this, whether you've even seen it to start with, and
It was
I'm sure we've missed things out, but tell us in the comments. And
But also, so like here it says, I asked my children, do you like tickling? And they said, this is the woman that was on this morning, by the way. And they said yes. And I said, would you mind if someone else did it? And they said they would be scared because it wasn't me. And I asked, would you speak up? And they said no. And I said, well, you can say no. We need to rethink the issue of consent. But obviously that applies. So if it's a random stranger, like we said, and came up to you, of course you'd be a bit, like, any child would be freaked out. Same way as if you were stood in the middle of the street and a random man started asking you to come with him. Like, it's the same kind of weird thing. But if it's your friends, family, or you're in a restaurant and you can physically see them and they've been, you know, the kid's taken a liking to someone in a restaurant or a waiter, and you can literally see them, and then they give them a little tickle, like, oh, move out the way. What's the problem? Like, I don't know. It's just
Like, um, I'm a face puller. I pull faces. If a baby's staring at me and they
I
seem
thought
to,
you literally meant like a face.
oh
Okay, that's
yeah,
a bit
I
weird.
probably I would need consent for that. Yeah, no kind of aggressive pulling of faces, please. None of that. But yeah, if you clearly see a baby's engaged and me pulling faces from a distance is making them laugh, I don't really care that I look a bit stupid to everyone else.
You always look a bit stupid.
Now that's
No, that
just
ain't me.
hurtful. Like, but yeah, if it's if it's clearly if it's distressing them more than anything, then of course not. But if it's bringing some sort of joy, why do we have to bring the negativity of the world into everything? I'm the first to understand there's so much shit going on, but let's not try and block tickling in this sense.
But what's next? Like, if you can't tickle a child, then like, can you even like be friends with a, like, if, no, I don't mean like be friends with a child. That sounds really weird, but
You
like
got
my
face, though.
siblings.
Follow for follow.
Stop.
Please
My
subscribe.
siblings, like, I'm 11 years older than them. Like, I like that my friends come around and they play and whatever. Like, if my friend was like, Rita, is it okay if I touch your brother's head? Like, it's just like the most random stuff, but people are probably going to bring something up about it. Like, really? Anyway, I'm just rambling now, but I just can't believe it. Just when I was listening to it this morning, I just was sort of in shock.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. Tell us what you think and let us know if there's anything else you think we should talk about.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.